Formula 1 is nearly a fifth of the way through the 2026 season, and while we've previously picked out our 4 drivers who most need an upturn in form, today we're looking at the strongest drivers so far. There are 2 inclusions that may be deemed more obvious, and 2 more whose performances have gone a little more under the radar in midfield machinery. Let's get straight into our list. 4. Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz may be driving a Williams that started the season overweight and off the pace, a car that is on average 9th quickest and sitting 8th in the standings, but he has shown his class despite the package's current weaknesses. After coming into the season off the back of an excellent end to 2025 in which he panned teammate Alex Albon, 2026 has continued in similar vein, with the Spaniard only once failing to beat Albon on race day this season. He's finished ahead in the previous 3 Grand Prix, scoring points in 2 of those with a pair of 9th place finishes to secure 4 of the team's 5 points this season, and has not been outqualified by Albon in any session so far this season, having failed to get out of the garage in Melbourne. While hopes of a repeat of last season have faded, where Sainz took 2 podiums, Williams showed signs of a revival in Miami, and the Spaniard is looking like the driver to lead it in 2026. 3. Ollie Bearman. Ollie Bearman is another driver to have carried on dominating a teammate this season following a strong finish to 2025. Bearman's dominance of Esteban Ocon has led to Haas calling Ocon's future into question, with team principal Ayo Komatsu criticising his form at this season's car launch, and little has changed in 2026. In fact, it's gotten worse. Bearman scored points at the season opener in Australia with 7th, before following that up with a brilliant 5th position at the Chinese Grand Prix. A difficult Japanese Grand Prix that culminated in a huge accident avoiding Franco Colapinto slowing Alpine is the one blot in his copybook for 2026, and even there it's debatable as to whether that was his fault, while Ocon picked up a point for 10th. Haas slips back in the competitive order at the recent Miami Grand Prix, but Bearman once again outqualified and outraced the Frenchman and has firmly established himself as the team's lead driver. He's single-handedly taken them to 6th in the Constructors' Championship in the early rounds of the season. 2. Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly's start to the season with a much improved Alpine package has gone somewhat under the radar, but along with Bearman he is very much the class of the midfield. Having maturely led the team through a horrendous 2025, Alpine have established themselves as the best of those behind the big 4 of Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren and Red Bull, and Gasly in 9th is ahead of Red Bull's Isaac Hadjar in the driver's standings. He scored points at every Grand Prix weekend this season and has by and large panned teammate Franco Colapinto, save for the Argentine's return to form with a brilliant weekend in Miami in which he outqualified Gasly in both sessions and finished 7th. Besides that, Gasly has been the undoubted team leader, holding off a charging Max Verstappen for 7th at the Japanese Grand Prix and finishing 6th in China. The 29-year-old has been the leading light this season, and Alpine will rely on his form remaining strong as they look to make their return to the top of F1's midfield stick. Number 1. Kimi Antonelli. Since losing out to Mercedes teammate George Russell at the season-opening Australian Grand Prix, Kimi Antonelli has been peerless in 2026. The worrying thing for the rest of the field is he still has scope to improve, as the 19-year-old has lost the second most positions on lap 1 this season. Starts aside, there has been almost no weakness shown by the Italian, as he dominated the Chinese Grand Prix from pole position before convincingly outperforming the experienced Russell in both the Japanese Grand Prix and in Miami. He's the only driver to convert each of his first 3 pole positions into his first 3 victories, and the gaps at the end of the previous 2 races have been verging on the alarming for Russell, who failed to finish on the podium in either Suzuka or Miami. A 20-point lead at the top of the table for Antonelli already looks daunting for the rest of the field, and should his form carry on, it's hard not to see him becoming the youngest ever world champion at season's end. Those were our 4 strongest performing drivers at the start of 2026, but let us know if we were right or wrong in the comments down below, and if you've enjoyed our video, please do not forget to like, subscribe and turn on our notifications so that you don't miss a Pit Crew Online video again.